Good morning. My name is Mali Ramos, Project Coordinator of Recycle for Your Future. Today I'm going to share with you the content of environmental awareness for residents in San Felipe. Recycle for Your Future is composed by 6 areas that are Environmental Ministry, Sanitation Authority, Municipality of Panama, Coca-Cola System, that is composed by Estrella Azul, the Coca-Cola Company, Coca-Cola FENSA, Cervecería Nacional, and ANCOM. And our strategic partner is Nestlé. This activity is realized with the support of Culture Ministry and of San Felipe and AVACA. The content of the presentation is about first, what is the objective of the project Recycle for the Future? Second, identification and recyclable materials starting at home. Third, biosecurity measures for starting recycling at home. Fourth, proper handling and identification of recycled materials to be collected. Fifth, proposal for the logistic plan for collecting recyclables in San Felipe area. And the last one, proposal for collection schedules. Recycle for Your Future is a project for the promotion of sustainable behaviors that consists in a management system of recycled materials sorted by an important awareness program. This space for the adoption of the best practice, like separation at the source and the sustainable use of products in our daily life at home, business, schools, and institutions, and a positive attitude of care and respect for the public space. So Recycle for Your Future is a project between 2020 to 2023, and we are going to work with San Felipe, Tocumen, Juan Díaz, Pedregal. It born from a pilot project that was between 2015 to 2018 called Basura Cero Cambia Tu Barrio. As a result, we have 31 recyclable stations in operation, and we sensitize more than 100,000 people in that corregimientos. Recycle for Your Future is composed by different components. The first activity when we arrive to an area is make an social environmental diagnosis. The second one is the awareness, this activity, and the environmental education. The third one is the implementation of recycle stations. You are going to see that we have different strategies to recollect materials in San Felipe in the next slides. The fourth one is the collection center. We manage, as ANCOM, we manage a collection center in Alto Securundum. And the last one is circular economy. That is part of the program of Recycle for Your Future. Our goals are establishing a recycling program with the objective of reducing billions of collect waste and the end up in landfill of the capital city. Leverage alliance with governments, institutions, and the national local level with community leaders and mass media. Third, establish model that can be used and improved to expand the recycling system to other corregimientos of Panama is our goal. Generate job and sustainability activities involve leaders, this is very important, and volunteers to the community to support the project activities that benefit the community. Specific for San Felipe, what are doing Recycle for Your Future first is support the efforts by organized group, state and local authorities. In San Felipe, there is already some projects doing right now. So the idea of San Felipe Recycle for Your Future is to support that project. Second, develop an educational program for resident business, school, and institutions. These activities is specific for residents who are going to make a different one for business, different ones for school with Beluga, and a different one for institutions. Third, implement an interim waste management systems by consensus with the key actors of San Felipe area. Fourth, establish a recycling station is a project point for the visitors. And the last one, implementation of an environmental education program with Meduca in the schools. You're going to see here a flowchart that illustrates the strategy for Recycle for Your Future in San Felipe. The first one is the education of residents, business, office, and visitors. The second one is the separation of materials at the source to be collected and establish a recycling station in public areas. So for residents, the structure is the awareness activity, the environmental awareness activity. Then you're going to separate your materials at the source, and then we implement the third phase, that is a collection of recycled materials door to door. That is for residents. For for a school also, the idea is to make education to schools. They can make their separation of material of the soil, and then we're going to collect it. And the same thing is for the visitants, because for the visitants, the proposal is to implement recycling stations in a public areas. So also we're going to collect that materials. For business and institutions, they also going to be sensibilizations, and then they're going to separate and the source, and they're going to make different strategies to collect that materials, and going to the collection center and then to the recycling companies. So specific with the content of the awareness and civilization, we're going to work with recyclable materials, that kind of waste that can have a second life, in other words, or can be reused or recycled. First is to identify the type of plastic. We recognize 7 types of plastics, and the importance of this sheet is that you can identify in your materials this number. The number that you see here is the number that you can use to identify the type of materials that we're going to collect in San Felipe. So there is some examples of number. Number 1 is the bottle of water, soda, and oils. Number 2 is container of lubricants, shampoo, liquid soap, conditioners. Number 3, tubes, tops, bags, contain. Number 4 can be garbage bags, detergents, chopping of vegetables. Number 5, pack of snacks, syringes, foods on containers. 6, pack of yogurt, disposable cutlery, CDN cases, and others are like toothpaste pouches, reusable bottles, or disposable cutlery. So this is just a sheet to illustrate the type of materials, and the next slides I'm going to show you what numbers plastic is proposed to recollect in San Felipe. So there is another recycled materials, Tetra Pak, aluminum cans, food cans. Another was paper, newspapers, greases, used cooking oil. This is very important for San Felipe, more for the business. Carton. And here I'm going to share you some measures of biosecurity in recycle activity. It's very important to know that if you have been diagnosed with COVID, do not recycle until you are COVID free. It's very important. So there is some measure that we have to take right now with our bags, our recyclable materials. First is always wash your hands with soap and water before and after removing the bag of recycled materials. It's very important, second, that clean with a damp cup with soap of water the residues of recyclable and not absorbent materials such as plastics, fats, metals, aluminum, and glass before depositing it in the vat. You are going to see this second instruction in every sheet that I'm going to show you in the next slides. It's very important, every material that you decide to recycle, clean it. It's very important. And then you pre-store in your recyclable materials in your bags or in a recipient. Before you remove these recyclable materials to the collected activity, you have to spray disinfection or alcohol or alcohol to that vat. It's very important for the activity. So, plastic. What plastic we're going to collect in San Felipe? We're going to collect the number 1, the number 2, the number 4, number 5, number 6. Specific the recipient of these kind of numbers. Also, we are going to share with you a sheet where you are going to see these numbers and the specifications of the recyclable activity. So first, clean and drying the containers. This first step is going to be in all the types of recycled materials that you decide to recycle. Second, location in bags different from the other recycled materials. And third, disinfect the bags and remove them at the collection signs. This is very important. The following will not be resist plastic with content or waste, or plastic with number 3 and number 7. Tetra Pak also open the container by unfolding it through its joints, raising, draining, and compacting to take less space in your house. Location in bags different from other recycled materials. Disinfect the bags and remove them at the collection times. It's very important that the Tetra Pak should not have liquid or moisture content. Aluminum cans and preserved here, yeah. Research first is wash, rinse, drain, and compact. It's more fun to the aluminum can. You can compact it. Second, location in bags separate in bags from other recycled materials. Disinfect the bags and remove them at the location times. The cans with food residues, oily substance, or liquid residues cannot be received. Bond paper, newspaper, and cardboard. First of all, for paper, remove staples, separate into dry space. It's very important. The cardboard of the paper don't have any kind of staples or adhesive and foam. Number three is location in different bags for all recyclable materials and also disinfect the bags. It's very important that you don't recycle dirty paper with staples, satin paper, like dirty paper with newspapers. From glasses, it's important to say that are recipients of glasses. It's not like if I have a window, I have a glass of a window. No, that kind of glass not. It's recipients of glasses. So rinse with water and dry it, located in different bags and disinfect the bags and take out them. We're not going to receive glasses with liquid content or residues. So cooking oil, you can identify an empty container you have in your house. Store used cooking oil in the container. Once it reaches the maximum capacity, you can clean the surface of the container with soap and water, and then you disinfect and take out to the collection stands. It's important. We proposed that the cooking oil will be collected 2 times in a month. And then you can see here a proposal of a secret composed by 2 roots. Both enter by the area of terraplane. So we're going to share you this in image and you can get up your feedback of this proposal. The idea is that when we start the activity of collecting materials door to door, we're going to see the effectivity of the proposal route. But in this moment, we would like to receive your feedback about the proposal of these routes and circuits in the collecting door by door to the residents in San Felipe. The proposal also for the collection schedule is to start doing Monday and Friday. Monday in AM from 10 a.m. to at the 12 p.m. and Friday from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. And the cooking oil containers will be collected twice a month, second and fourth Friday of the month. Coordinations of the PH. So PH should organize the collection of its residents to reach to the pickup location in the given schedules. Residents PH should be compliant with the separation of materials, the source taking into account the information provided in slide from 11 to 17. Coordinate with the janitors to the collection of material from the PH privilege through the arrival of the collection vehicles. Janitors are responsible for delivering the recycled materials in the definite hours for collection. So we make this awareness and civilization for residents, and we have another activity specific with the janitors of the PH to explain step by step and to be very coordinate with the activity of we collect the materials door by door. So also we have a proposal, as you see here, this is a big bag or jumbo. So we're going to work with the janitors in every PH to determine the available of space of every PH with the proposal of to install this kind of bags. You can have a place in your PH that you can collect your recyclable materials, and maybe it's more easy for the janitors to organize the collect materials and to be prepared for the hours of the collections. Finishing the content is very important. You to know the responsibilities of of Recycle for Your Future. First of all is makes it the educational program for residents, eventually for business and institutions, ideally previous to the beginning of the collection systems. Second, join the coordination with AUD, OCA, and Junta Comunal for the development of the route for the collection logistic proposal for the residents. Third, receive the collected materials at the Ancon collection centers located in Alto Socorundu, and the management of those materials with collection centers and transformation partners. First, supplied reports for material volumes of recyclables collected in San Felipe area. The last one, provide training to the AUD, ANOCA, and other institutions personnel on recyclable materials, handling the road educational program for the community to become a change agent to foster a recyclable culture. Responsibility of the end users, your residents, separate the recycled materials at the source and comply with the waste cleaning and handling guidelines, comply with the collection hours and days, avoid placing bags of recycled materials in pavements or area along out collection route to avoid confusions and to keep San Felipe beautiful. So that is all the content of the awareness, environmental sensibility, environmental. We hope receive for you your feedback in this proposal. Thank you so much for your time.